Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, and I am the owner of Designs by Mish, a handcraft company that I rebranded this year and actually had originally been a different type of shop and realized that I found joy and happiness in crafting my own items. So one of the things that I thought would be interesting, and why I'm starting off with everyone seeing my very messy desk, is honesty and transparency. So a lot of videos we see online of these crafters, and they may be this way, I don't know, but I'm going to be honest and say I'm not. So I usually start my week very neat, tidy, everything's where it belongs, starting my work week that way, and by the end of the week, by Sunday, this is typically what my desk ends up looking like. And so I thought I'd take you with me with resetting for the week and being honest in what it actually, the craft desk might look like after a week's worth of working both a 9-to-5 job and your small business afterwards. Plus being a mom, a wife, a troop leader, all the other things, all the other full-time jobs I have as a wife, as a woman, that you might have on top of just a normal 9-to-5. So work with me as I start to clean up. And that's a cleaning up for the beginning of a whole new week. I'm not sure if anyone's curious, but I am notorious for being clumsy, for having accidents, if you will. It's not my intention. It's not like I do it on purpose, but I also like to have nice things, and one of those being my desk. So as I found that I was nicking it and causing chaos and mayhem, I decided the best thing I had to do was to get a self-healing mat that would cover the expanse of my desk, or as much as possible, and I ended up needing to do two, to protect it, so it'll last longer, it won't get marred so much, especially now that I'm crafting. As any crafter can tell you, more chaos. So I also just got a new ring light, so I'm able to take down my trusty little ring light. So I will be moving that off so we have more room on our desk. Also, to let everyone know, I will have a couple of videos coming up where I have an unpacking for a exciting new machine I got from HT Ront. I am not affiliated with them in any way. This is not a paid sponsorship. I like gadgets. I don't think I'm the only one out here in the YouTube world and the crafting world. I think half of us get involved in this because we love our gadgets and we like to see what we can do. So I have a new one from HT Ront that I will be unpacking in an upcoming video. And then I think I mentioned this on perhaps my first video, but I finally saved up enough to buy myself a starter binder from the Aesthetic Dollar. So if anyone is interested, I'll do an unpacking on here as well from the Aesthetic Dollar. I'm very excited to begin my cash stuffing journey, and that has nothing to do with my channel per se, but it's a part, it will be a part of my life. And I think it's important to understand not just the crafting part of a small business, but the person behind the business and the things that can affect how we shape our business, how we mold our business, and the milestones as well as the trip falls we have along the way. One of those pitfalls being, did I mention I love gadgets? So with that means that sometimes I bought a gadget that my business wasn't really ready for. So I do have a wall of gadgets, and maybe at some point I will show you my collection or my shelf of gadgets that I have. But not today. I'm not ready for that. You're going to keep that closet door closed for right now. But some things I do need to go ahead and get done is to make some more product labels, some more of my inserts, and I might even show you my new setup that I have on my walls. I did end up going to IKEA, once again not sponsored, and buying a pegboard system, which I felt was cleaner. I have noticed that I am also one of those people that, while I love to have shelving and putting up this beautiful wood shelving and all of that, it was indoors. It was too easy for me to fill them up with stuff. And so I found that I really needed to remove that. Plus, it was a very dark color. And so it affected my mood. I've come to realize that light and bright is the best thing for me in terms of keeping a upbeat attitude, being able to stay focused, staying on target, feeling optimistic. And so that dark wood on top of dark wood, which is my desk color, it was too much. It was overwhelming. And so I went ahead, went to IKEA, bought their pegboard system, and it's all white, which I do enjoy. And I'm able to see all the things that I use pretty consistently for my crafting. And so that's out on my pegboards. And I actually, to the left, which I'll show you in a minute, is my packing station. And I find that having it nearby, next to my computer system, my printer, my Cricut, my label maker, having it all in one central location, it's easier for me to process orders. And I feel that's very important, to not feel overwhelmed. So I'd like to hear from you all. What do you find in your setup, in your crafting room or crafting desk? Not everyone is in a position to have a whole room to craft, and I understand that. My work office is part work office, part crafting room, and part my husband's desk, which I did put in a desk in here for him so he could parallel play, which means he's in the room with me. We're not necessarily interacting. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, but we are spending time together of a sorts, and it's comforting. What shall we talk about? Okay, so I'll go into, as I said, the way I have everything structured, why I have it laid out the way I do. Hopefully that helps people out there in some area if they're looking at revamping their area. And I keep looking around and I'm seeing, so there's 3 women in this house, well, 3 females in this household and 1 male. And so that means there's a lot of hair that travels around, plus 2 cats. So it's a pretty constant battle. And every time you think you've gotten it all picked up, you will see a wayward hair somewhere, and it's just there to irritate you. But that's okay. So where was I? Oh yes. So let me know if any of my tips and tricks or the way I have set up helps you, and I can kind of go over where I got these items from. Most of it will be IKEA. The equipment specifically I have will be from various places. A lot of it Amazon, Cricut, HT Ront, my vinyls, my sublimation ink, all of these little things. I already talked about Crystal or Bell Creations, so you saw that on my previous video as well, and just some things I'm going to be doing moving forward. So with that said, as I stated, I get off track. I'm sorry. I do need to make some more product labels, stickers for my merchandise. But speaking of merchandise, so when I started this, I didn't know a lot. I'm still working on my drawing capabilities. What's a good drawing what's a bad one. And while I liked my color scheme on my magnetic stickers, or my stickers, and my mom and cat and kitten, or cat and kitten stickers, as I call them, I did notice as I was reviewing my stickers and my magnetic bookmarks, which is the same design, that this particular one just doesn't look right when it comes to my kitten. I thought it was adorable. I thought it was cute, and then I realized maybe not so cute. And what did I do with their paw right there? Yeah, this is one of my first. So I need to go back. I need to fix this. I'm going to take this off my shop because it's just, now that I've been doing this a few months and I've seen my quality get better, this just isn't up to my standards. And so I will be pulling these off of my shop, both my Etsy shop and my website, until I can correct this. But with everything going on, it may be a little while before I correct this particular sticker or this particular design. So this will be coming out. Luckily, I hadn't made keychains out of this yet. Yay. So I'll work on that and put that to the side. Another thing that I really look forward to, and I have a whole list of things I like to move forward in trying to create for the shop. Sometimes it's running ahead before I've learned to crawl. But I do want to get into stationery at some point. I love the idea of having to-do lists and notepads with some of my designs on it, and a light image on the background. I love cats, big cat family, and it brings me joy to see those designs, to see those images of those cats. And I believe there are others out there who feel the same way, at least by the traffic on my shop. My cat stickers do get a lot of traction, so I do know that people are interested in them. So that's something for the future, and so I just put down some information so I could remember that. I'm also looking at making bookmarks, not just my magnetic ones like this one here, but not this design. We'll just cover up that kitten. But actually long bookmarks. So as I mentioned previously, I'm a troop leader, and so I tend to do a lot of crafty things when I can as gifts for my girls. And last year, at the end of the year, I made everyone bookmarks, acrylic bookmarks. And they were a hit. They seemed to enjoy it. I wasn't sure. Most people are on their electronics now, and wasn't sure how much of a hit that would be. But they enjoyed it, and I was able to stylize it with their personal name on it, along with, a recognizable design for our troop. And I was thinking, I'm sure there are others out there who would enjoy having, a personalized bookmark or a cat bookmark or, some of my other designs that I can come up with. So I'll be looking at that in the future, trying to decide, am I wanting to look at metal bookmarks, paper bookmarks? I've even toyed with the idea of dashboard bookmarks. As I've been watching the Aesthetic Dollar, and she has dashboards, of course, for her binders. I was like, how nice would it be? Because I'm, once again, notorious for losing things as well, and one of those being my bookmarks. Wouldn't it be nice if I had a dashboard, a bookmark that was the size of the page, so when I put it in, I didn't lose it, and it was very easy for me to find in the future. I need to do some more research, take a look at, the different sizes for paperbacks versus hardbacks, and material, how I want to make it. I'd like something a little bit more solid than a paper. Maybe a cardstock might be the way to go, though I was thinking something along acrylic, or maybe not as thick as acrylic, but something along those lines, so it would stand wear and tear. But let me know what you think, if that's something that you think might be interesting. I'm not sure. I have to think on it. I'm also thinking about changing my coloring, but these are all ideas and thoughts moving ahead. So while I'm working on this, my husband made me a beautiful card just to say that he thinks of me, and wanted to recognize that. And my husband, I'll put this to the side for now. I'll go ahead and start making some product. And while I'm doing that, I'd like to talk about something else that I don't know if anyone else has struggled with, but I definitely have. And that is shipping pricing. So one of the things I struggled with, especially with Etsy. How do you say that? Is it Etsy or Etsy? I don't know. Etsy. We're going to go with Etsy. One of the things I struggled with is that Etsy requires a tracking number. And I have struggled with trying to meet that requirement, but still make shipping not be more than my stickers. And I had been failing, which I'm sure has contributed to some of the likes and favorites, but not purchases on some of my stickers. And I was watching someone, TikTok, which I'm sure all of us in some fashion or form is on social media, YouTube, that they had actually described a way to do first class mail and get a tracking number. And so I did some more research because, you know, like my website, I have a app built in so I can handle the shipping portion of it. When I would try to choose first class mail, it wouldn't give me a tracking number. I found out that that's specifically for Etsy. So Etsy has it within its system that if you buy a first class mail label through them, it will generate a tracking number, which is great because first class mail is much more inexpensive than Ground Advantage, for tracking numbers, is which I use on my website. But sorry, household, cats, children, everything, distractions. So if I buy my label through Etsy, I can use first class mail and mail my stickers in an envelope, which I think you may have seen me cleaning up. This is just a package I got from Michaels. Nice, sturdy. I like how sturdy it is. And so I can purchase an envelope label, first class mail from Etsy, and ship my stickers in this, and it would generate a tracking label, a tracking number. Now, the one thing to be aware of as I've done my research is that tracking number is only available for tracking within Etsy. You cannot go to the USPS site and track it. It's only through Etsy. So that's something that I hope customers are aware of, and I hope shop owners are aware of, that it is only trackable through Etsy itself, and that is why you're able to get a tracking number. If you purchased a first class mail label any other place or any other way, you would not get a tracking number and not be able to track it via USPS. So just keep that in mind. But what it means is I can now provide inexpensive shipping options with a tracking number for my Etsy account for my stickers. And it makes it so that the shipping is much less, significantly less than what I had previously had to charge, because I had to do Ground Advantage, which even with the discounts they provide you was still, my stickers are $3.50, shipping was $4.35. I get why that would pause people unless they were buying multiples. But now it makes it to where my sticker, where I can ship it for $1.20. So of course shipping is less, and then it's a little bit more per sticker if you add additional items. So I think I have it at, I think it's $1.20. I have to double check. But either way, much more cost effective, much better for my customers. And I'm actually at a point now where if they buy enough, I'll waive. I may surprise them and refund them back the shipping. I haven't decided on that one yet, or offer free shipping if they hit a certain number. I need to think on that. But just a little bit of information for those that sell on Etsy and have been struggling with the pricing for items that don't weigh much and could go in an envelope. So with that said, let's make some Christmas stickers. Let's see. So I'm going back to my trusty dusty favorite. I'm not going to need to do a laminate for these. I'm just going to make the stickers, but I do like using the vinyl sticker paper. I've made sure I'm well stocked on it. And then once again, just a reminder, I've noticed that this vinyl sticker paper, or this vinyl paper, adhesive paper, as they like to call it, will sometimes start curling on the end if you leave it out without it being weighted against. And what that does is cause it to get jammed in your printer. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and do 3. So sometimes before I put it in, I just make sure I've curled it to the out so that my roller picks it up. Put it in the printer, and I'll let everyone see that. We'll move on over to the printer, maybe. Voila. Beautiful. Second time was the charm. So I could not group flatten them, it turns out. You had to the stickers from before. You have to individually flatten them. And then the print worked with what I had printed previously. So that helps anyone. I hope so. It definitely was a learning experience for me. Very beautiful, I think. I'm not partial. It's my symbol from my business. And I'll actually be putting these on the back of the packages, the envelopes and all of that where I seal it. So just a little bit more branding and something unique. That's another thing I guess I would like to talk about when it comes to packaging, when it comes to starting your business. And you know, I was told this, not directly, but as I watched YouTube videos and followed different YouTubers, crafting YouTubers, they all said the same thing, you know. It's really easy to get caught up in the shiny and the newness of products, but then, and so you start buying things, and then you find out you don't need them yet. So you could have a stock of things on your shelves. Like in my case, I have stocks of sublimation glasses. Well, what I should have done was buy a few, see how I liked it, and then bought more if it was something I wanted to do. I'm not happy with the way sublimation beer glass cans look. For me, I have an expectation of being able to see the designs vividly, and so especially with the cloudy sublimation ones, I can't see it. Not unless you fill it with a light drink. If you fill it with a dark drink, it's still muddied, at least from my experience. Now, there is one creator who recommended a different brand of sublimation beer glass can, so I'm going to try it one more time, and I may do it on video with you, but I'm just not satisfied with the look, and so that's why I've tried UV DTF. And as I showed you earlier, or in my last video, I said I was going to try it offline. It's all right there. So I got an error on the Cricut machine about the sensor not being able to read the numbers, which is different because it's matte. I don't have any kind of cover over it, so it should have read it fine. So let's see if it continues to have a problem. So let's try a different print. It's very odd. So if it doesn't read this, then there might be something on my sensor. Okay, it's activated. So what I was saying was, so then I tried UV DTF. Well, I tried vinyl, and I realized I didn't like the way the edges felt. So then I heard about UV DTF, and so let me try UV DTF. So you can see, I'm not very successful at it. I can't get it to lay right. It comes up, and I know it's not the product because I've seen other people use it and see it's cracking up because it's been so long. So, yeah, I'm not very successful at this. So I'm actually saving my money, and I'll be buying a machine that'll apply it directly for me, simply because I just can't do it. And right now, I have it for sale in my shop. I was wanting to make these in-house. I'm having to go POD for these until I'm able to make them in-house again with that machine that I really want to Eufy make. If you're out there listening, I wouldn't mind testing it for you. I doubt they're listening to little old me, but you know, in this world it could happen. So I have a bunch of these glasses in home. Currently not using them. They are collecting dust. I've not given up yet. I'm still hoping to get this done, but that is where I'm at. Then we're going to do it again. So I have these, they're sitting on my shelf, they're collecting dust. I have quite a few of these, not quite 100, but like 50? 50 of this and like 30 of the cloudy. So, lesson learned, only buy a little bit, test it out. Another thing that's easy to fall in, and I almost did it today as I was watching another YouTuber. I've got stuff all over my hands now, oh gosh. And they were talking about where they got their label products and how they did it and how, oh, you can print it, it's pre-cut, which is all well and good. And then I had a moment of, why am I immediately going to Amazon and looking for this when I make stickers and I can simply use what I have, the materials that I have. Okay. Me and my cry cut are not on good terms right now. Use the material I have and make them myself versus buying. I have plenty of vinyl sticker paper. I mean, the majority of my products are vinyl stickers. So I just had that moment. So keep that in mind before you go and buy products, before you go and start spending money, before your business makes, a good profit, because you're going to constantly reinvest in your business at the beginning. Check to see what you have. Be creative. I mean, we're crafters. Find things every day around the home that you can use, and then eventually, if you're wanting to make that update, outsource your product. Once you're making a decent profit and you're able to put some aside besides reinvesting in your business, then go to that next step. Outsource your product. I'm not at a point yet where I can outsource, so here I am making my own. And I don't think I did too bad a job. What do you think? I think they're beautiful. It's my butterfly, part of my design. So that is my story to y'all. Would I love to have that row of stickers that I can easily just pull off as I pack? Yes. Is that currently where I'm at? No. And that is okay. Be good where you're at. Strive for more. But don't sabotage yourself. Learn to crawl before you walk. That's my biggest lesson I can give right now from my short experience in less than a year. I tried to run before I crawled. Yes, that means deficit, but I will get there. And if I can help someone else not fall into those same pitfalls, those same traps, then it was worth it. So, on to making some more product, business labels. Also, if you shop at IKEA, check out the discount bin that's usually at the customer service desk. Great options. So the idea is behind my, these business stickers, and I'll probably make them a little bit smaller for the back of the envelopes, use these up, and then probably go to like a 1.5 size, is creating a customer experience, creating joy and fun when the customer receives their package. So I might work on some different labels using my color scheme. I have some for glass and things like that, but maybe, do not bend to put on the labels for the envelopes for the stickers, things like that. So some other things I need to do is make some labels for my product, but I did promise you a view of my setup. So with that, let me do that. I did promise an overview of my pegboard system that I just created. So on this pegboard, as you can see, I have my vinyl decal sticker and my laminate. And once I put it back up, I also have my cardstock, which I make my business labels and items out of. So my thank you cards, my business cards, my inserts, they're all made with the cardstock that I have. And then my light board that I use to help me weed. This here are some of the Halloween stickers that I had outsourced just to try them out. Aren't these the cutest things? These are paper clips. I was inspired by the Aesthetic Dollars paper clips. These are not theirs. I forgot to place an order, and so I wanted one so badly. I went through Amazon, and I just made a mess. Ignore that. I'll pick that up in a minute. At the top, I have my spare blades for my Cricut. As we move on, this is my collection of pins, and as you can see here, when I'm not dropping paper clips, I keep my mats here, an easy reach for everything up here. As we move along, I have my printer ink, my sublimation ink, my Cricut tools that I use for weeding and for my sticker making, more pins. Over here are my tapes that I use, as well as my rounding cutter for my product inserts. I have my UV DTFs here that I'm still trying to master. I will get there, I promise. And then up here is I always mess this up, Crystal Bell Creations. I could be wrong, and I apologize, but this is what I ordered from her to help me with my glasses and applying the UV DTF. But once again, user error. I know. And then over here is my packaging. Pegboard. So what you'll see here is my letters where I will send my stickers, sticker sheets, magnets, and keychains in. It allows me to keep the shipping cost low, but if I ship through Etsy, I still get a tracking number. Unfortunately, through my website, if you order from my website, you don't get a tracking number, but I can still mail them through first class mail and keep the postage down. Anything else like glasses and mugs will have to be the higher cost with the tracking number, just for safety reasons. And it's because I can't mail it in a letter. I have to mail them in a box. As we move over, I do have poly mailers as well. These are my cellophane for my sticker sheets. Those are my additional promotional stickers that I use to put as a gift in my orders that I receive. Everybody should know what that is. If you don't, we need to have a conversation. My squeegees. And then these are all my product inserts that I use. So business cards, magnetic bookmarks. These are for my stickers. These are for my keychains. And these are the stickers I put on my sticker sheets to determine the variation or the versioning, because I have several. So I have those there. And then in here, I like to pop this out, is my butterfly logo. So I put those on the back of the envelopes that I send out. That's something new I've been doing. And then printer, this is my Epson printer. Below is my Converta sublimation printer. This actually needs to go back up in its rightful place, which is right there. This is my Mumbean thermal printer, which is handy dandy. This is my roller for my laminate because I am not very good at rolling, at applying the laminate. Everybody else seems to be amazing at it. I am not. So this is what I currently use to help me not have all the bubbles. My Cricut, my Brailler, and that's the end. And then my self-healing mats that I put on top of my desk, because as much as I like nice things, I am accident prone and I use my knives and my cutting tools a little too frequently that it would just destroy the top of the very nice desk that I have. So that is it for the tour of my pegboard system and my desk. I hope that answers any questions or comments. If you do have any others, please leave them down below in the comment section and I'll do my best to respond to them as I see them. As well, if you've made it to the end of this video, please hit all the buttons, like, subscribe. That'll encourage me to continue going. And if there's anything you would like me to cover in the next video or like to see, by all means, please list it down below and I'll see what I can do. As well, if you would like any of the items that were shown today in my video, I'll leave buttons down for items that are not in my shop. And then, of course, my shop is designsbymish.com. Please take a look if you're interested in any of the stickers or other products I sell. Once again, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening. And just remember, take that first step. Whether it's opening a small business, creating your first craft, or talking to someone, you never know where it will lead. Have a great night, everyone, and see you again next week. Bye.